2018 Moscow-Constantinople schism events in Ukraine. Transfer of St. Andrew's Church. On October 18, 2018, the Ukrainian parliament gave approval to give permanent use of the St. Andrew's Church in Kiev to the Patriarch of Constantinople for him to hold worships, religious ceremonies and processions in the said church, provided that St. Andrew's Church is also used as a museum and still belongs to the Ukrainian state. St. Andrew's Church will also serve, according to an official, as the Ecumenical Patriarchate's embassy in Ukraine. St. Andrew's Church previous owner was the Ukrainian Autocephalous Orthodox Church, which accepted the transfer. The parliament had to vote on this decision because the church is part of a national heritage site owned by the state. The goal of this vote was, according to the Kiev Post, to speed up the receipt of a Tomos, ordinance, the recognition of a local Orthodox Church in Ukraine by the Global Orthodoxy. Irina Lutsenko, the representative of the Ukrainian president in parliament, declared the goal of this action was to make a sign of solidarity with this process, of Ukraine receiving a Tomos, as well as the symbolic gesture of unity with the Mother Church, Constantinople. However, on the same day the opposition bloc introduced a motion to repeal the transfer, which meant that the Ukrainian president would not be able to sign the motion to transfer the St. Andrew's Church until the motion of repeal is reviewed by the Ukrainian parliament. Finally, President Poroshenko signed the law of transfer on November 7, 2018, and the law took effect on November 10, 2018. On November 28, 2018, in conformity with the law on religious organizations, the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine approved the transfer of the St. Andrew's Church to the Ecumenical Patriarchate's permanent use. On the morning of November 15, 4 unknown persons threw Molotov cocktails at the St. Andrew's Church, but they didn't explode, and attacked the priest with a spray. On 27 November one of the suspects was arrested. The first liturgy presided by the members of the Ecumenical Patriarchate in this church took place on December 13, 2018. This liturgy, chaired by hierarchs of the Ecumenical Patriarchate, was condemned by the UOG MP. Cancellation of the transfer of the Poce of Lavra. On November 16, 2018, Ukrinform reported that the Ukrainian Culture Ministry had challenged the legality of the transfer of the Poce of Lavra, located in the Ternopil Oblast, to the UOG MP. The Poce of Lavra is a historic site of Ukraine. It is only in 2018 that a local deputy of Pochevsky City Council found out that Yanukovych's 2003 order on the transfer of the Lavra until 2052 to the UOG MP, No. 438, was carried out in an unknown way. The police of the Ternopil region opened proceedings in this case. Should the illegality of the transfer be established, the transfer would be cancelled. On November 23, 2018, the Ukrainian Ministry of Justice cancelled the transfer of the Poce of Lavra to the UOG MP. On the next day, the UOG MP monks of the Poce of Lavra clarified that the Commission of the Ministry of Justice of Ukraine, in response to the complaint from the Ministry of Culture of Ukraine, has cancelled the registration of the contract for the right to use the Assumption Cathedral, the Trinity Cathedral, monastic cells, the Bell Tower, the Bishop's House and the Holy Gates. On 28 November, the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine approved the return of the Poce of Lavra to the Kamenets-Pochayiv State Historical and Architectural Reserve by cancelling the 2003 transfer law, which gave the use of the Lavra to the UOG MP and excluded the Lavra from the Poce of Lavra to the Kamenets-Pochayiv State Historical and Architectural Reserve. Law on the Church's names. On 15 December, Filare requested Parliament Speaker Andrei Perubi that the laws 5309 and 4128 be voted in Parliament. It was expected that on December 20, 2018, the Ukrainian Parliament was going to vote a law to force the UOG MP to change its name, Law N. 5309. This law concerns the name of religious organizations, associations, that are part of a religious organization, association, whose governing center is outside the borders of Ukraine, in a state which, according to the law of Ukraine, is recognized as carrying out military aggression against Ukraine and or temporarily occupying part of the territory of Ukraine. In October 2018, the press secretary of the UOG-KP had already called the Ukrainian parliament to pass this law. On December 19, 2018, Filare declared himself in favor of this law. On 20 December, the law was successfully voted, while members of the UOG MP were holding a protest outside the parliament. Soon after the law was passed, a brawler erupted in the parliament between the deputies. On 20th of December, the UOK MP called the Ukrainian president to veto the law. The next day, Epiphany, primate of the OKU, declared his support for this law. On 22nd of December, President Poroshenko signed the law and said that those changes in the law created better conditions for the exercise of freedom of choice of religion for those who decide which Orthodox jurisdiction to belong to, either to the newly created autocephalous Orthodox Church of Ukraine, or to the church that insists on maintaining its connection and dependence on rock. On 25th of December, the UOK MP said it would appeal to Constitutional Court to invalidate the Law 5309. The Law 5309 became effective on December 27, 2018. From now on, the state body for religious affairs, the Department of Religions and Nationalities, must conduct a religious expert examination that determines which religious organizations are subject to this provision. The results of the examination will be published in the official publication Uriadovy Kuryur. Communities have 9 months to change their name and submit relevant documents to public authorities. Otherwise, the statute of the respective religious organization will cease to be in force in the part which defines its full official name. The Law 4128, which concerns churches' communities who want to be put under another jurisdiction, was momentarily postponed. Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, raids. Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, carries out raids across the country targeting the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, Moscow Patriarchate, churches and priests. According to Metropolitan Pavel, there is a pressure on me personally, threats are being heard, all sorts of attacks not only on me, but also on other bishops and priests. For what reason I do not know. Kerch Strait Incident. On 27th of November, Parliament Speaker Andrei Parubi announced that the martial law declared in some regions of Ukraine would not delay the receiving of the tomos of autocephaly, independence, and that, if anything, the martial law was going to speed up the process of Ukraine receiving its tomos. On November 28, 2018, Ukrainian President Poroshenko declared the Kerch Strait incident was provoked by Russia in order to force Ukraine to declare martial law and therefore to prevent Ukraine from receiving its tomos of autocephaly.